Hi there, and welcome back to Personal Branding for Success, a channel specifically dedicated to assist you in discovering the real you and developing your personal brand. Powered by the Infinity Coaching Platform and hosted by personal brand engineer and life coach, Sebastian Klassen.
The Personal Branding for Career Success series is authored by Sebastian Klassen, life coach and personal brand engineer, and is also available for download on the Infinity Coaching Platform. In this transcript, Sebastian outlines 4 key typical approaches used by job seekers during interviews and evaluate these against high-level seemingly qualified job seekers failing to secure employment for jobs they are suitably qualified for. He concludes, I firmly believe that success during a job interview is an absolute life skill, and it can be achieved through your authentic personal brand projection during your interview. So, in a post-COVID-19 world economy, it might therefore be useful for job seekers to take a step back and reassess their perception about what is truly expected of them during an interview. As a previous business manager, I was so often saddened by the fact that the majority of candidates typically approach their interviews in the same way. This is a paradoxical phenomenon, especially since every candidate I have ever interviewed typically held the inherent belief that they are unique. But from pure observation, there is nothing unique about the way they approach this very important meeting or interview. In my view, this is the missing link that also drives our coaching processes when assisting clients to effectively re-engineer their personal brand projection for career success. In this regard, personal brand consciousness is undoubtedly one of the most important and powerful skills to have to navigate. On the other hand, where there is an absence of personal brand understanding and projection, candidates display self-limiting approaches, which appear to be either outdated, too simplistic, or simply irrelevant during their interview. At the onset, candidates should take note that good acting skills are generally not a key job requirement unless they are actually in an audition for an acting part. And yet so many candidates believe that this is a valid approach towards gaining employment or to be promoted. So, firstly, let us consider the mindset and actions of an actor versus that of a job seeker or prospective employee. Actors are trained to be imposters, are masters in the art of pretending to be someone they not. They are branded as highly acclaimed for projecting falseness as realistic as possible. This is, however, not the objective of a job interview. The idea of acting yourself into a job doesn't appear to project authenticity, which is at the core of personal branding. This is an obvious gamble where you might be the loser. It is safe to assume and conclude from having interviewed hundreds of candidates that your mindset will drive your behavior and actions. Again, it is all about you, your authenticity, your brand projection. The second notable approach is a somewhat bizarre approach, which is reminiscent of a courtroom setting, where the candidate decides to simply answer questions as if being interrogated for past crimes. Where this is workable in any interview setting is highly debatable but no less common. Another obvious career-limiting mindset or approach is that of placing your qualification on a golden platform. These candidate believes that their qualification and/or experience is the only key differentiation factor. This is a very common approach amongst promotion seekers. In reality, just positioning your CV is a very simplistic approach, especially in highly competitive industries. So, unless you have been headhunted specifically for your highly rarer skill or qualification, you might want to proceed with caution. But this pales in comparison to the selling yourself approach, arguably the oldest and still most common approach for most job seekers. It is also true that for so many years candidates were hyped with the single-minded idea of selling yourself in the interview. We have all been there, we have all experienced being encouraged by an excited parent or guided by our trusted teacher or the so confident recruiters just before an interview. Go and just sell yourself. This was, and still is, the most popular approach to enter the world of work. But as a life coach and brand engineer, I need you to consider that historically companies had limited means to market their products. They needed loads of salespeople to achieve their business objectives. They correctly assumed that any candidate that would be competent in selling their own skills, knowledge, etc., will automatically be able to sell their product or service. This gave rise to an approach which we now regard as being the standard mode of conducting and approaching the interview conversation. The current reality, however, is that not all jobs or positions are sales positions. And with that being said, again, when you look at the mindset of a salesperson, does it align to your own brand values, and is it aligned to your goals? Is it the correct brand projection? Do you believe that positioning the sales approach will land you the job as a manager or leader? Let's consider for a moment that, like so many other inventions, that the fax machine was truly a remarkable invention of its time, but the world has evolved, and new world technological advancement has made it almost redundant. I have no doubt that a fax will still work, but the real question is, will you still revert to it knowing what is available today? So in conclusion, the glaring questions to consider are: do you have a personal brand mentality or mindset? Do you think of yourself as a product or a brand? And are you able to project your personal brand to get the job or promotion you want?
So, we hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that it has added value to your life. Remember to subscribe to this channel to get notification of up-and-coming content. If you have any comment or feedback, please send a voice note or leave a comment or connect with Coach Sebastian via Facebook. Stay safe until next time.